I was 12 years old when I sat here in 1990 watching the game between Scotland and England, that great Grand Slam decider. I'll never forget it. The place has changed a little bit since then, obviously, a new stand, but the roar that met the team from that East stand was incredible. And that roar came because David Sole, the captain of the side that day, led a slow, deliberate walk out the tunnel and then went on to create history.
Well, I've never known support quite like that for the Scottish team. They're still clapping and cheering.
If you were going to be in his team and part of his team, then you did everything in your power to make sure it was going to be a success. And I really enjoyed his style of captaincy because it was very minimal in terms of discussion. The technical stuff was done in the training sessions, but you just knew there was an expectation there that he was going to lead the team.
Stanger could be there first. It's a try! A magnificent try for the 21-year-old. His first try in a championship match.
And he had an expectation on you as a player. Now, I've always enjoyed that. I never like, as a quiet lad, I never like things that are over-talked or saying something for the sake of it. So I really enjoyed his style of captaincy. I thought it was spot on for me.
I totally agree, and I think leadership is often, I suppose, confused with words, and for me, action, paints a far more important picture. And someone that I played under was Jason White, for example, and the leadership that he showed. He was a quiet man. But some of the hits he put in the field would lift the players in the crowd as well. And with other players, not just in that game, but throughout your career, throughout that glorious season, that would lead by example on the field.
Yep, and I think that's always been a strength of Scotland, and I think it's worked less successfully when someone wants to come in and talk and make the big speeches and punch in the air and grab in your chest. I was never a big one for that, to be honest, but I remember as a youngster saying, wouldn't it be awesome to play for Scotland, to represent your country just one time? What a feeling that would be. And having done it yourself and hundreds of times, the feeling you get is extremely special. And when you get out there, you don't need someone behind you, whacking you with a stick to say, come on, try your best, try your best. That's a given for me, any Scottish sporting team. Knowing the right time to say a couple of quiet words which really help and just to boost you and lift you, particularly if things are maybe, as you know what sport is like, things don't always go to plan. Yeah. So things are going to go wrong. So you learn that you don't have to be one certain type or other to be a good leader and a strong leader, and just by your own performance you can have a real influence on other people. So there's only certain things that are in your control, so focus on those, do what you can do, and I think it has an effect on other people, whether you're the perceived leader or not, or whether you're just part of a team and someone who wants to do really well. You can have an effect on others, which I think to me is what leadership is really about.
Billy on to Tegan Winterbottom. The referee's whistle goes for the end of the game, and Scotland have won a famous victory. One of the unique occasions in rugby union football, and Scotland have won by 13 points to 7. And the scenes of euphoria here will just look at...
Andy Jackson of Bishopton Rugby Football Club, I'm absolutely delighted that you're here talking to us about the values of Scottish rugby, and I think a club like this sums up all that's good about rugby. Tell me, what's your role here at Bishopton?
Or
how many roles do you have here at Bishopton?
I have a few. I'm the club secretary. I'm the junior section coordinator, so I arrange all the fixtures, fixture secretary, and I make sure everyone turns up in time for all the matches and for the training and everything, so I run all that. I'm one of the coaches for the junior section, so it's like I'm one of the coaches there, and I also coach at Park Mains, where I do some volunteering through my work. So actively involved.
And you played here, of course, as well.
I'm still a second 15 player.
And
yes.
a player.
I'm still a player. Yes, I had the joys of actually, for the first time in my life, being in 10 last year at standoff. It was a quite tight game.
It's easy, isn't it? But for me, you're a leader of this club. You lead the junior section, the senior section. You lead I suppose the development of the game here. Do you see yourself as a leader at all?
Yeah, you've got to see yourself as a leader. You've got to define that, and I mean that's one of the things. I think you've got to see where you're going. You've got to have a vision. We have a vision of where we want to go. We want to have a vision for where we want to go with the pitch and the changing rooms and the challenges that we have here as a club. We are grassroots rugby, so it's hard. And it's small successes and small steps, but over the last 3 or 4 years, with that kind of that ethos, if you build it, people will come. Then we've been going forward
you'd given a couple of the guys in the junior section a copy of Jim Rennick's autobiography. Is that true?
It is true, yes.
Oh, that's right. And how did that go down?
It was interesting. It was just like one that was like, I was like, are you sure? I said, yeah. It's just because it was a friend in work who'd given me it.
Brilliant.
To me, it was something of a different ethos. It was a different era. But the two boys I gave that book to, I believe actually there's a lot in what Jim Rennick did and the skills that guy had.
What we're trying to get from these videos is the fact that the values run through the game, not just in Scotland, but the values of rugby hold it together, and they transcend time. And that for me is a brilliant example. Brilliant example of that. And then who knows, they might be on YouTube looking at Jim Rennick's great heads.
Yeah, absolutely. They might just look at it.
Pleasure to meet you.
Thank you. Pleasure to meet you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.